In this course, I've mostly been using the free Komodo Edit source code editor for editing and modifying JavaScript. But there are lots and lots of editors and IDEs, integrated development environments, which you could also use. For example, ActiveState, the company that makes Komodo Edit, also has a more complete Komodo IDE, which is commercial. There are things such as Dreamweaver from Adobe. That's a web page and website editor and manager. That includes some visual design tools for modifying HTML, as well as built-in support for JavaScript. If you're a Microsoft developer and you're developing data-driven websites, you'll probably be wanting to use the Visual Studio IDE, and that includes an awful lot of special built-in features, IntelliSense, so you can do code completion and so on. And for cross-platform development, there are also open source and free cross-platform IDEs such as Eclipse or NetBeans. And NetBeans is the IDE that you can see here, and that also has built-in tools such as code completion. One of the most unusual and innovative tools for designing rich internet applications, AJAX applications that involve JavaScript is something called Morphic. Now, this used to be quite an expensive commercial product, but it's now freely available. It includes a visual design environment, and most unusually, it supports different syntaxes of language. So here I'm using one that supports a Pascal syntax. And there are also versions that support a C# syntax and BASIC. So if you come from a general purpose programming background and are familiar with one of those languages, you can write your applications in a familiar syntax, and then when you're ready, Morphic compiles it and it outputs JavaScript as a result of that compilation. So it translates the syntax that you're using here, that's Pascal, into JavaScript. So here I am, I'm compiling it, it's outputting the JavaScript, and when it's ready, up pops the finished application. In this case, it's a sample program, which is a game of Tetris, and I'm ready to try it out. And here we go, my game of Tetris. There are also specialist tools for creating HTML5 pages and sites that are animated using JavaScript. Here, for example, is Adobe's Edge Animate, and it's a visual design tool based on a timeline. So you have a timeline across the bottom, which will be familiar to animators, and it comes with another tool called Adobe Edge Code, and that can be used for editing code in the normal way. Here I've got one of their sample programs, which is a little game that runs in a browser, and here it is, and it just lets me pop the bubbles. So in this kind of tool, I'm not really seeing very much of the JavaScript. If I don't want to, I can do most things using the design environment without being too bothered about the code that is generated behind the scenes. And there are other tools as well. Here, for example, is one called Motion Composer, and this one is available on Windows and the Mac. Again, it takes a visual approach to designing web applications. In fact, this one can generate them either in Adobe Flash or in HTML5 with JavaScript. And here, for example, is one that I've created a simple animation, and this is arranged in the form of slides at the bottom of the screen here. And when I want to preview it, I can preview the HTML5 version just by clicking this button up here, and it shows me my animation. So that's a very simple overview of just a few of the editors and environments that are available for helping you create JavaScript-powered web pages. So as you can see, there is a JavaScript development environment or editor for almost every sort of development task. So it's up to you to pick which you are comfortable with, whether you want one for visual design, or for AJAX development, or for simple code editing.